you hear the phrase, the king of pop, who comes to your mind? Is it Michael Jackson? Michael Jackson is known all over the world, from his hit song Thriller to his legendary creation of the moonwalk. He spent his entire career making music and singing his heart out. In an interview with Oprah, Michael stated, "I feel I was chosen as an instrument to give music and love and harmony to the world." Michael Jackson was famous for many different things. He had a music-filled childhood that led to great things like the Jackson 5 and a solo career. After that, Michael's career began to slowly go downhill until his unexpected death. Michael Jackson had a very exciting childhood. He was born on August 29th in 1950 in Gary, Indiana. His father, Joseph Jackson, played the guitar for a while, but had to give that up to provide for his growing family. He then got a job as a crane operator. Michael's mother was Katherine Jackson. She raised the kids while Joseph was working. According to Biography.com, at the young age of 5, Michael became the lead singer of a singing group with his 3 older brothers. After Michael's other older brother joined, they called themselves the Jackson 5. They started out playing small gigs. They tried to record some songs, but not many people were interested. Then they started doing opening acts for a few R&B artists. Finally, in 1968, Berry Gordy signed them into his label. They moved to Los Angeles, and their father became their manager. The group started to become very popular. At one point, they even had their own cartoon. After a while, tensions formed between Gordy and his father about the level of participation the boys had in making their music. This caused everyone but Michael's brother Jermaine to break ties with Gordy. After that, they called themselves the Jacksons and got a recording deal with Epic Records. Now that we've talked a bit about Michael's career at a young age, let's move on to his career at an older age. At 13, Michael started to branch out and have a solo career along with his career with his brothers. Michael's fame helped the Jacksons' career. After the Jacksons went on an extensive tour, Michael went even more solo. He started teaming up with other famous singers like Paul McCartney and sang duets. His famous album Thriller received 12 Grammy Award nominations, and of those 12, he won 8 of them. Michael signed an endorsement deal with Pepsi-Cola for $5 million. While filming a commercial in 1984, Michael was injured and received burns on his face and scalp. He had surgery to repair the injuries. He started using plastic surgery around this time. In the late 1980s, Michael built a giant California ranch that he called Neverland. Here he raised exotic pets and had amusement rides. His music was popular for many years. After being very successful for a while, Jackson's career started to fall apart. Michael had a disease called vitiligo. This caused the change in color of his skin. According to AllMusic.com, in 1993, there were allegations of child molestation against him. There was a 13-year-old boy that claimed Michael fondled him. He was also said to have sleepovers with young boys at his ranch in California. Michael was able to maintain his innocence. In August of 1994, he announced that he married Lisa Marie Presley, Elvis's daughter. 2 years later, they divorced. Then the same year that they got divorced, he married Debbie Rowe. They had 2 children, then divorced in 1999. Michael received lots of criticism in Berlin, Germany, when he dangled his youngest son out a window to greet his fans. In 2003, he admitted that he still had kids spend the night at his ranch, and he even let some of them sleep with him. In 2004, he was arrested with charges relating to incidents with a 13-year-old boy. On June 14th of 2005, he was acquitted with all charges, and his reputation was destroyed. He had no money and no bank account anymore. Later, Michael announced he would have a final curtain call in London. It would start on July 8th in 2009. In only 4 hours, all the tickets were sold out. Unfortunately, Michael wasn't able to perform. On June 25th, only a couple weeks before his concert, he died from cardiac arrest. His heart stopped, CPR failed, and he was rushed to the hospital. He died later that morning. His death caused a widespread grief all over the world. There were memorials being held all over. There was an official, detailed report of Michael's death in February of 2010. He was believed to have become addicted to propofol. His doctor, Conrad Murray, was not licensed to prescribe those drugs. They were supposed to help Michael Jackson sleep. Also, Murray's steps to save Michael Jackson were not correct. Michael's death was ruled as a homicide. Murray was found guilty for manslaughter on November 7, 2011. He faced 4 years of incarceration. I hope you have learned a bit about Michael Jackson and his life. I've told you about his childhood full of music, his adult career on his own, and how his career fell apart very quickly. Michael Jackson led a very successful and hard life. He will be remembered forever. His music, his signature moves, famous clothes, and all his hardships will never be forgotten. He went down in history as the amazing king of pop.